can all awaken the agile leader in us. In all of us. Yes, you heard that right. However, there is a secret to doing this. Today, I'm going to share with you the secret ingredient that makes someone an exceptional leader, an agile leader. I'm pretty sure you all want to know what that secret is. But before that, let me ask you a question. What does the word leadership mean to you? Think about this based on your real life experiences and the managers you have had in your career. A few years ago, by using a survey, I posed this very same question to a number of colleagues and friends from various industries and backgrounds. You know what? The survey results were quite interesting and thought-provoking because most of them said leadership in practice is all about command and control. They also said leadership is a hierarchical thing, often associated with someone's role in an organization, usually at the highest level. I think most of us can relate to this in some way or another, can't we? I have been in a leadership role for 5 years, but I have been led and managed for many more. And I have realized 2 things. First of all, to me, command and control have never represented a great leadership. And secondly, the great leadership I have experienced and hope to exemplify has had very little to do with the position or the title. See, just holding a manager title or role or approving someone's holiday or setting someone's objectives does not make a manager a leader. For us to call someone a great leader, they must be able to influence people, inspire them to achieve the things that they thought they never could do. They must be able to make an impact, a positive impact on people's lives. But here comes the next question. Can we call all great leaders agile leaders? Absolutely not. Is that shocking to you? For us to call a great leader an agile leader, they must possess an important quality. That is, the ability to survive, thrive, and excel through change. The world that we live in is full of continuous change, and we all know that. That's not news, and there is nothing new about it. In fact, change has always been a constant, way back, centuries back. However, in times of digitalization and globalization, the pace of the change has increased beyond anything that we could have possibly expected. It is only likely to get faster and faster. It is getting more disruptive, more uncertain, more unexpected, and in fact, more violent. We are all affected by the change at a personal level, professional level, and on the world stage. What we need in a period of change are great leaders. But my belief is that having great leaders in times of tremendous change is not enough in and of itself. What we need are great leaders who are agile leaders as well. What we need is to awaken the agile leader within ourselves. Becoming a great leader is like making a homemade soup. Think about it. Have you ever tried lentil soup on its own with absolutely no flavors to it? Can't even think about it. To make a delicious lentil soup, you need to add exciting, flavorful ingredients like ginger and garlic and green chilies and red chilies. And finally, if you season it with a secret ingredient, ghee or butter, it turns a great lentil soup into an exceptional one. It's the same for leadership. You need many different ingredients to be a great leader. But the one secret ingredient that often turns a great leader into an exceptional leader is being agile. So what does being agile means? Being agile is a combination of 4 powerful flavors. Let me share with you those 4 powerful flavors that helped to awaken the agile leader in me. So the first flavor, agile mindset. Our ability to act on change, our ability to respond to change, our ability to knock on doors, our ability to pick ourselves up when we have been knocked down. All of those is dependent on what goes on here. Let me share with you some of my story. But before that, let me ask, how many of you here have seen Bollywood movies? Wow. Well, if you have seen Bollywood movies, you may very well know that most movies in Bollywood starts the story with a flashback. So, being an Indian by birth, let's flash back to my childhood in India. I was born into a very loving and caring family in a state called Kerala in southern India. And from a very young age, I had a great passion for technology. With that passion in mind, I did my Bachelor of Engineering in Information Technology. During my final years, I got married and my husband and I came to the UK. I still remember the day I arrived in the UK with full of hopes and dreams, all set and ready to land the job in the industry I love. After a long wait, I got my first interview call. I was excited, but incredibly nervous as well, full of confusion and curiosity, because I had no clue what was going to happen and I had no idea how this process was going to go. And when I got into the interview itself, I lacked confidence completely. I couldn't make eye contact. I couldn't talk openly. And I could feel myself just crumbling on the inside. Unsurprisingly, I did not get the job. I then attended the second interview, then the third, then the fourth, until it reached double digits. And it was at that point I thought, enough is enough. And I asked 3 questions to myself. Why have I reached 10 interviews? Or what's the situation here? What can I change? And what can I own myself? These are 3 valuable questions I continue to ask myself in life, not just at work. And they're incredibly powerful for all of us here when we get stuck in here. I concluded that I did not get the jobs because my confidence was at rock bottom. And I just repeated the same behavior again and again whilst expecting a different result. That's when I decided to change. A change in me, in my confidence, in my perspectives, approach, and most importantly, my mindset. I then went to the 11th interview as a new Shalini, and from the lessons I learned from the inner reflection, I changed what I did. I became more agile, and guess what? I got the job. 13 years on, I've worked in various different organizations and various different roles, from a software developer to a tester, test lead, test manager, software engineering manager, scrum master, and today I'm performing dual roles. Yes, dual roles as a lead agile coach and a brand and outreach lead for a FTSE 100 organization. Along this journey, I've been extremely grateful and thankful to receive various awards and recognitions, including the Team Leader of the Year at the Women in Tech Excellence Awards. So, agile leadership skills starts up here. Reflecting, identifying the change, accepting, embracing it, and most importantly, learning from our failures. And next move on to the second flavor, listening to our inner positive voice. How many of us do not have any problems in our lives? At heart, we are born to stand out. We are born to be positive. We are born to see the good in the world. But we have layer upon layer put on us. That means the inner voice often has a negative tone as well. Who has heard that inner negative voice from time to time? Oh, not just me then. Agile leadership is all about listening to our inner positive voice, identifying that positive voice, and being guided by that voice, because that is our true being, who we are and what we are meant to be. But you must practice it and you must act on it. You must make it a habit, because it's not a once only thing. Because life happens and life can be tough. It's not to say that only positive things happen in our lives. I have been in many organizations, either as the only female leader or the only female leader of color. In a study done by Technician UK, only 22% of the tech director roles are women. So do you think my leadership journey as a woman of color in a male-dominated industry is easy? Absolutely not. On my way to achieving goals, I faced numerous obstacles, not being accepted, not being acknowledged several times. But my inner positive voice often helps me, guides me, and gives me the power to be bold and face challenging situations. So, which voice are you going to start listening to from today? Your positive voice or negative voice? Moving on to the third flavor, emotional intelligence. As a leader, it is very important to provide a psychologically safe environment for your team. An environment where your team is happy and safe and can really act and respond through change. Just as in the garden, you do not have to pull plants for it to grow. All you have to do is provide soil, sunlight and water, and the plants will automatically grow and flourish. It's the same with leading a team. But for a leader to understand the importance of a psychologically safe environment, they need emotional intelligence to a very high degree. Emotional intelligence is the intelligence to understand your own emotions and emotions of other people. Emotional intelligence is all about connection when you dive down. Connection is key. A connection with your inner self and the people around you. Without connection, a leader is neither great nor agile. My experience is that I developed emotional intelligence through my artistic skills. I am a trained Indian classical and a Bollywood dancer. So from my very childhood days, I was often given a character to perform when I was dancing. So I had to understand that character and connect with that character to enact that character. So the connection with the character, the dance, the music, the audience, all of those factors later helped me in my adult life, specifically in my professional life as a leader. Isn't it interesting that what I learned about agile leadership doesn't just come from the business world or the tech world, in fact from the artistic world? Perhaps leadership is an art. Finally, moving on to the fourth flavor and my personal favorite, the smile. Yes, smile is a part of agile leadership, and let me tell you why. Do you know how powerful your smile is? Well, British researchers have discovered that a single smile can produce same neural stimulation as 2,000 bars of chocolates or receiving 16,000 British pounds in cash. Yeah, I know, right? But how many of us actually see people smiling these days? In a world where there are minimal human interactions, a high level of anxiety, depression, loneliness, it is an extremely challenging situation for all of us, at least most of us. And leading a team in these circumstances is not an easy task. And the most powerful way to deal with the complexities and the complex life is to connect with ourselves and others through a beautiful smile. Remember, you cannot solve your problems by acting grumpy or shouting or swearing or yelling at others. But you can definitely solve a lot of problems through a beautiful smile. A smile is a recognition that An agile leader is a human being living in a world with other human beings, initiating, driving, and dealing with change all the time. It's a signal that we recognize our humanity. It's our connection with others. It's a reminder of our inner positive voice. And it's an embodiment of our mindset. My friends, I believe you're all leaders. And like a delicious homemade soup, you have your own leadership style, presentation, and ingredients. But today, I would like to ask you to add 4 more powerful flavors to it. An agile mindset, listening to our inner positive voice, emotional intelligence, and a big, heartfelt, genuine smile. And that's what makes us all exceptional leaders, agile leaders. See, when you become agile, you're able to stay positive, flexible, adaptive, and resilient. When you become agile, you're able to get the best out of yourself and your team. When you become agile, you are able to survive, thrive, and excel through change. So, my friends, let's join hands together, not just to be leaders, but to be exceptional leaders, agile leaders, and make this world a better place, a beautiful place, not just for us, but also for our future generations. On that note, I'm signing off with a very big smile. Yeah, and receiving all the smiles I can see right now. Thank you.